Good day, our viewers. This is still Point Blank Talk Show on News Peddlers. You are welcome back again this week. My name is Manoah. Kikekon. With me is Dovoeke Daniel. You are welcome to this week's show.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, this is a show where we discuss matters concerning Badagry, Nigeria, and around the world. Today on Badagry, the major thing that is going on in Badagry currently is still the protest that started on the 1st of August, where it's been tagged hunger protest, where Nigerians are saying that the economy is becoming too harsh and people are finding it difficult to survive, and there's a need for government to do something, and in order for government to take step, people have taken to the streets to protest. But we see that in Badagry, I personally took it on myself to go around some major part of Badagry. I was at the roundabout of when on the 1st of August, when the protest started. I saw the civil defense officers, I saw the police, I saw the neighborhood watch, all were stationed around the roundabout, and the place was totally deserted. Everybody was clear. What I'm now left to that is now giving me concern is it because of the fact that Badagrians don't want to protest, or because of the fear of the security agency, or the fear the government has put into the people that anybody that attempt to protest will be dealt with and all the likes? What do you think would have caused what we saw in Badagry?
Well, you see, generally the protest has had two dimensions across Nigeria.
Okay.
We have seen the genuine protesters,
Okay.
and we have equally seen another set of protesters who are not even aware they are protesting,
Okay.
who have tagged themselves as a group of say no to protest.
Okay.
So, but in the case of Badagry, we have not even seen whether a say no protest
or
yes protesters or say yes protesters. So in the case of Badagry, you see, I can see that there are some groups of individuals who have met with political stakeholders.
Okay.
Chairmen have organized some dialogue meeting with some groups across the Badagry to engage them in different kind of conversation as to way forward. But for me, I think some of the major problems why we have not seen major protests in Badagry is mainly because, one, Badagry as it is today, despite the gradual urbanization, if you can say that, the gradual development, Badagry is still a rural society to some extent. And Badagry is still a kind of society that we know ourselves. It's easy for you to pinpoint that this is the person who is involved in this particular thing. It's easy for you to locate a cultural society. It's easy for you to locate their people and call people that, look, this person is the one doing this, warn them, and all forms of issues can be directed to different families. So, and I think that in one way or the other, if you recall, there was a time where there was protest in Badagry.
Yeah, I think to fix the Lagos Badagry Express.
Exactly, and some of the protesters were arrested.
Yeah.
It was easy to arrest them, not because that they were doing the wrong thing, but because there are people already who are ready to point them.
This person's son. This
is the person, his father, this is his mother, this is so. Badagry is still a kind of society that it is very easy for us to recognize each other. And considering the fact that those political office holders in Badagry have equally declared themselves open during the time of, or before, the day before the protest, they have declared themselves open to dialogue, and some of those who can even lead the protest are those who have already engaged themselves.
Okay, those that were known to be comrades.
Yes, those who are known. as major stakeholders in protest. There are some of those who have said no, they are not in support of this protest, that the protest is baseless. But one thing they have to understand is that anything called protest, there is nowhere that it is mandatory that you have to know who is the leader, or it has to be organized by someone. I can protest. I can decide today or tomorrow to say, okay, I am going to the streets all alone. I can decide that, look, we are going to organize a protest, and it does not necessarily mean that I am the leader or anybody have to lead. Since we have a common purpose, we have a common goal, we have a common vision for the protest. So the major language, the major organizer of this protest is hunger. If you look at differently across various other places in Lagos, other local government, there have been protests. And what you have heard, almost everybody saying, even those who have come to say no to protest, they are equally saying that, look, we are hungry.
Even with the placard of no to protest.
Yes, they are saying no to protest with placards.
But saying another thing with their mouth.
But even some of them have acknowledged that they were paid because they are hungry to come and protest, to come and say no to protest. Meanwhile, they are equally protesting in the protest. So if you look at it from that angle, you see that almost everybody have a common motivator, have a common purpose. And the major purpose is that the organizer of their protest is hunger, is hardship, is economic breakdown. It is the fact that people can no longer afford meal. It is almost difficult for most families now to afford a 3 square meal, regardless of whether it is a balanced diet or not. All they wanted is we should eat. Let us eat. Let us have something to eat in the morning. Most often now, people only eat in the morning, and especially they will deliberately take time. It will be around probably 12 o'clock before they eat their breakfast, and they just have to suspend afternoon and go for dinner. No more lunch. And to some people, they will only have to endure the starvation till dinner, before they take 1 square meal. They are not interested in balanced diet or whatever you call it, because for you to even take balanced diet now, you must be rich. A derica of beans is now selling for 2,000 naira. Are you telling me that it can survive a family of 6 for a day? So you see where the problem is coming from. So the major organizers of this protest is economic hardship, is hunger. And people should not be saying that since the organizers are faceless. No, there is no particular designated market to any kind of people. Whether you are saying that because the protest is faceless, that is why you are not joining the protest, you do not have a special market that you go there and buy things at affordable prices. I've seen recently where 100 tubers of yam are being sold for 1 million naira. That is unacceptable. It is crazy. How should 100 tubers of yam? Then you now think about somebody who is going to get married. The family are requesting for 40 yam. So you are looking for almost half of a million to go and buy 40 tubers of only yam. Then after the marriage, what are you going to feed on as a family? So you see that the major and common purpose for this protest is the hardship itself. And these are some of the things that people should rather look into. I equally watched a video where let me call it a town hall meeting was organized with Badagry local government chairman, and I saw where Mr. or Dr. Akande Sewudi was talking. I saw that he was talking sense. This protest is a way. If not for this protest, you will have seen that, look, none of all of these political stakeholders would have given you a forum to engage them in this kind of conversation.
Of course.
They wouldn't have been shocked. And if you look at these protests, the fear of the protest itself has achieved more results even than the protest. And look at the protests across Lagos. It's very, very peaceful, especially in the southwest. It has been very peaceful, even though there are intimidations and there are, threats from different quarters. We have seen those who have come out with Oro to threaten people. We have seen those who have organized themselves and they are deliberately threatening. But in the process, where they are equally threatening those who are protesting, some of them are equally saying it live on camera that look, we are here to protest because we are here to say no to protest because there is hunger, things are expensive. And at the end of the day,
Yeah.
they have common purpose.
Yeah, still on Badagry. Well, before we move outside Badagry on protest, recently we saw some summit that was held, all around the LCDAs and the local government, where some youth leaders are coming out to say we are not going to protest because Badagry problems are peculiar to Badagry people, and that is different from the demands of the national protesters.
The question you should ask them first is that do they have a special market where they buy their own food at cheaper price? One. Then two, you should equally ask them that despite their proximity to the border, who is suffering more? These protests will have, become, it is in fact of more benefit to Badagry.
The reason why what is calling my concern more about it is that this protest is called #End Bad Governance.
Yes.
And some people are clamoring for bad roads, checkpoints all around the road, no electricity, yes. No water, the government is not doing enough. That is some of the problems they say is peculiar to them. The question is now that, is that not part of bad governance?
Exactly the point. While I was saying earlier on that, the question should have been that do they have their own special markets? Despite their proximity to the border, are they benefiting? Do they have the right to enter or to go across the border and buy things without intimidation from different
security agencies along the border?
Mounted checkpoints.
Up to
more than 100.
Over 100
from Agbara to Seme border. Yeah. Then you think about it, are we in a war zone? Even those countries that are fighting war, they don't have that kind of multiplicity in borders.
Another part of the challenges they are facing currently is the 20 kilometers.
That is it. I'm still going there.
Yeah. And currently, from roundabouts to going to any part of the border, you are not the security agencies, when they see any fuel from you, which is up to 10 or 5 liters, they are going to seize it. Meanwhile, there are communities there, and there's no light in this community, and these people will have to fuel their vehicle, fuel generator, but they can't even take the fuel. The 20 kilometer does not allow the fuel to go to the border area. And these people need it, and security are there collecting.
You see, that is why I'm saying that this protest is of more. I share the opinions and views of Dr. Sewude Akande, because this protest is of more benefits to Badagrians than any other person. The major beneficiaries of this protest are supposed to be Badagrians, because if you look at it from that angle alone, 20 kilometers to the border, what's the rationale? Why should it be happening in Nigeria that 20 kilometers to Nigerian border, people around there should not get access to fuel? They don't have electricity at all for several years.
10 years, almost
they do not
10 years.
have electricity. They don't have road apart from the only road that links Badagry to Seme. They don't have any other road. Their roads are terrible, and the area is a sandy area. So even trekking under the sun, you know what it takes. Now these people are really suffering. And this protest should even be about the welfare, because it is bad governance. Badagry has experienced bad governance over the year. Badagry have been, don't let me say, probably I should say misrepresented, or we have been shortchanged for different purposes. And if you look at it, the people most often they are not even aware politically of their rights, and most often they resort to taking to illegal activity rather than to fight for their rights. And protest is a way of trying to send a signal to the government that look, we want all of these things done. If we are not Nigerians, if your 20 kilometer right from Badagry roundabout down to Semi, if you know that they cannot get access to Nigerian fuel, then cut. If they are going to readjust their border and bring it to roundabout, then probably those people should be part of Benin Republic. Probably that will solve their problem, because I do not see any reason why I should be in my own country and I cannot get access to what rightfully belongs to my country. I am treated as second class citizen, because that is what it means. It means that those people along that axis, they are not Nigerians. Probably they should look for their own country. If the Nigerian fuel cannot get to Nigerian border, people living around there, they do not have access to electricity. They need electricity to power their house, to power their phones, to have different kind of developments within themselves. Those who are doing different kind of jobs, they need access to electricity. If it would have been another, so even if government can provide alternative source of energy, probably solar system to the whole of that area, it will reduce the problem of probably they can justify that by saying that. But then you will not tell us that it is that same solar that will power their car. So they still need fuel. How are they expecting those kind of communities that they should survive without fuel? And if you look at it, it has even affected the prices of fuel in Badagry. While you buy fuel in other parts of Lagos for some certain amounts, in Badagry right now at this moment they are selling for 850 naira in most areas. Some areas they are selling for 900 naira. And you look at it, we are in the same country, and this kind of injustice is happening. So who should protest more if not Badagrians? We are not saying violent protests, because we have seen the protests in Lagos State, in most part of the West. It has been very peaceful, which is what we have equally encouraged on this show in the previous week. We have encouraged that we wanted protests, not riots. There is difference between protests and riots.
Definitely.
And we have seen that these protests have degenerated into another thing, especially in the north. There have been riots in the north and no longer protests. So, but here, there have been protests and people have been going about it in a very peaceful way. And we have seen even the Commissioner of Information have visited some of the protesters at Ojota, and he has even engaged them and has spoken with them. And by so doing, we are hopeful that at least it's a way of saying the governor is listening to them. But we are equally saying that the governor still needs to visit them himself as a person, because we know the role he played in 2020 during EndSARS. He visited them in person, he showed solidarity with them, and all of this. So equally in the same vein, in Badagry, there is no government that is restricting protests. There is no police officer that is coming to kill protesters. Nobody is coming to victimize anybody. The presence of security operatives that we have seen in Badagry roundabout is just to ensure that in a situation where there is going to be protests, they are going to be there to guide them. I have seen where police officers are even giving out water to protesters in Lagos. And they even, police with their official handle posted it and said, if it is peaceful, we are in the game. And in fact, this protest is about everybody, even the police officers themselves. Their children are affected, they are equally hungry. Many have gotten loans that they cannot even pay back in years. So they understand the plight of the people, including themselves. So the police officers are not in Badagry to come and victimize anybody. It's just a way of saying that, look, you cannot protest without security operatives. They are here to monitor the activity and to ensure that the protest is not hijacked. So that has been the basis of the presence of the policemen that we have seen, or security operatives generally that we have seen in Badagry.
Thank you for your take on
that. It's just quite unfortunate that there is no protest. Probably different people in Badagry are busy with different kind of problems. Those who are not eating, those who are thinking about different problems and challenges, and they thought that, look, protest is the least of the problem we have. So let us face other challenges. Let the protesters continue with their protest.
All right. Thank you for your take on that, and we hope because over time Badagry has been known to be a peaceful environment.
Yes,
that is maintained, and for the people to remain together. Secondly, on Badagry, before we move out of Badagry today, there's an issue being raised during the week as regard the oil well in Badagry. Currently, Falawiyo oil well is in Badagry and it has been in operation for few years now, going to 10 years now. Oil has been, extracted from Badagry soil, and there have been some people coming out to say over time I don't know if it has not been confirmed yet, but it's been said that Lagos State government is collecting 13% derivation as the state that is supplying oil, crude oil. So, and over time, this territory being under Badagry, we have not heard anything relating to Badagry. Maybe the environmental impact assessment projects that would be carried out as regard the impact, the effect of this oil that is being extracted on the people or the community around these vicinities. But people are just, everybody is just doing as if they are not concerned about it. What do you think that could be causing these body languages?
You see, the problem in Badagry has always been that oftentimes people show less concern about issues that affect the public, that is not directly affecting individuals. And that has been a major problem in Badagry. Rather than to channel their energy and fight for a common cause, especially if some of them are beneficiaries of any problem in Badagry, you will not see them raising concern about it. And this Falawiyo oil, I think, is a scam. It is a scam because they are scamming the common patrimony of Badagry. And I've equally heard the arguments of some people who are saying that Falawiyo have said that the oil they are extracting is not from Badagry as a community, that they are on water. Then it leads to the question that which water? Is it in the international water? If it is international waterways, do they have access to that? And there is a particular kilometer that Badagry territory still covers, and Falawiyo oil is still within because for a state to define its boundary, there is equally land space.
Yeah.
We have our air space, and we have our water space. Yeah. So now these three factors, Badagry happens to, our water space.
This space will definitely fall under a local government within that state.
Yes, so Badagry space happens to cover that territory where Falawiyo oil scam is happening. I call it scam because I do not know who are really behind it and why they have refused to, do the rightful thing. And these are some of the issues that have, over the years led to the issue of militants that's rising in other parts of the state.
Yeah.
If currently the people are not very much aware of all of this, the people are not so conscious about their rights in regards to this, and it is even now that these scammers should do the right thing. They should try to, now you think about the environmental impact that this the activity is going to have on Badagry. Badagrians are not even aware that these activities that the oil activities have a negative impact. The hazard they generate from that place is going to affect the livelihood. Then it's going to reduce the lifespan of Badagrians, especially those very close to that area. It's going to have an impact, a negative impact on their life. And for
not only their life, things they plant,
exactly, even every
their livestock, and
even when the marine life,
even the water they drink.
Yes. Every fishes that the aquatics is going to have an impact upon all of them. So, and these people are not maintaining, they are not paying all of this. Then that is an aspect of it. Then again, as the host community, there are derivatives that Badagry should get. Again, they should equally have a program to sponsor, as a scholarship to sponsor Badagrians, because you are extracting something from our space, and the people are not directly getting the benefit they ought to get. Probably I do not have the knowledge as to that regard. If there are some group of people that are collecting who are getting something and they want to maintain it within themselves in Badagry and they decided not to speak. But for me, that is a scam.
There is no any public awareness as regards.
Yes. So
the operation and what is coming out as the benefit
yes,
to the people of
so
Badagry.
Badagrians need to be more aware. They need to be more conscious. In fact, it is now that Badagrians need to protest against Folawiyo oil, because considering the timing that there is a nationwide protest, people should use it as an opportunity to say, look, we want questions to be answered in this regard. We want those who are, extracting our oil to come out. We want to see them, we want to know who they are. Then we want to ask them some questions. They should come and explain to us that their activities have never been causing any environmental hazard. It has never been causing any kind of trouble to the people of Badagry, that the people of Badagrians are safe, and why they have refused to, acknowledge Badagry as the host community, and why they have not been paying as derivative. It is constitutional. Badagry must get that, derivative share.
Yeah.
So they cannot take something from our soil and use it to develop other areas or develop individuals. The people should get their own benefit from this, and we are calling on every stakeholders who are truly sincere and have the people at heart that they should look into this and investigate. Because if you are saying that you prefer dialogue rather than protest,
Yeah.
now this is a means
to dialogue.
This is a issue of public concern, and we are raising it now. We are not the only one who have raised this issue.
Several individuals has raised it, but nobody is interested in coming out to say it loud, to speak to the public that this is something is going wrong somewhere.
Exactly. So we need people to come and address all of these challenges. We need people to come out and say something about it. We have our own Federal House of Rep member who happens to be a member of a member of committee on oil.
I think on natural resources and
exactly. Yeah. So this is an avenue to make an investigation into that, and for him to give us an official statement in that regard, for us to be rest assured that look, we have something that is well protected. Probably we do not have the knowledge about how it is being used, or probably Badagry is getting something from it. So he should use his own office to make that investigation. As a member of that committee, there should be an inquiry, and for us to have a report on it.
All right. We hope the right people that's in the right offices are seeing this, to take the right step towards what this point of the Folawiyo oil that has been oil well that has been in Badagry for a time, and over time, and Badagrians are not really seeing its impact. We look at Nigeria currently. What we can see that is going on in Nigeria is still the protest. The protest is going around it's happening all around the nation, the north, the south. But over time, we've seen that from some days now, we've seen that there's more of it in the north compared to west or southeast. So what can you say about what is now the reason behind Northerners taking it more serious than the previous protests we've seen in Nigeria?
You see, for me, those Northerners, they are hypocrites. They are hypocritical mainly because, for me, if the South are protesting, probably the Southwest, the South-South, the Southeast, it is acceptable. They have the right to continue to do so. But the North, for me, they are hypocrites, because under the former administration
of President Manoah,
yes, it was preached to them in their mosque, in their different homes, that look, protest is a haram.
It's a sin.
It's a sin against Islam. So where is that morals right now? Where do they place it? Is it that they still have this pseudo idea that they own Nigeria, or if their people are no longer in power, they have to just take to the street and continue to damage things? So if you look at what is happening in the north, most of the areas that we have seen there,
and most of it have not been peaceful.
It is no longer a protest; it is riots. Because there is a clear demarcation between protest and riots. You don't start destroying properties and call it peaceful protest any longer. It is, you have started rioting, and that is what we have seen. Look at Kano. We have seen looting in massive number. Even those who own some of this property has come out to cry live on camera. They are crying that look, their properties are being looted even in their own presence. Now you look at Kaduna, I've even seen a video. I don't know how authentic it is, but I've seen a video where a police officer was killed in Kaduna. You go to places like Borno, you have even seen video that are circulating where about 6 protesters have been killed. Wherever there is no particular place that the constitution say, okay, you have to be limited to this place. No. So, but we have seen that there have been thousands of arrests across, especially the north. So for me, it is not speaking too well to our democracy. But then we have to understand that most of the protesters in the north are acting under provocation because they deliberately are out to loot. They deliberately are out to destroy
and most of them are
properties.
just young people.
Exactly. So if you look at it, they are most of them, they are not even acting under any instruction. Probably some people are instigating them, who have told them just go out, cause mayhem, unleash terror. They do not have the proper orientation that look, this is a protest just to tell government that you are hungry, that you are not happy with some particular policies, but they are just all out to attack and destroy things. Because if my position still remains that if they cannot protest for 8 years under the former administration, where Southerners, even you look at NSAS, where a lot of people were killed.
No, Northerners were not part of it.
They were not. If you see anyone who is protesting in the north during that time, there are still people, Southerners, who are living in the north. They were the ones who actively participated in that process as a then. So where do they lose? Did they suddenly lose their moral, or are they suddenly awake from their sleep that look, we have to protest now? Then why is it that now? Is it because the president is not from the north? Because I am sure if
the president is a northerner,
the president is still a northerner, their mosque will have preached to them that look, protest is still a haram. So why are they coming to the streets? They are hypocrites as far as I am concerned. The main protesters I am aware of that I know are those who are protesting, the southerners who are protesting either in the north or in the east or in the west. They are those who are protesting for me.
That could even mean that the northern, there are some elements that are working towards destabilizing the current government.
Definitely, and that is why you have seen that the government is equally, proactive in terms of dispatching security operations across various places in Nigeria, especially if you understand what has happened. This is how Kenya protest started, and it has led to other issues, and Nigerian government is equally aware of that, and they are very much, these protests are sent, very strong signal to them. They are more afraid of, the preparation towards the protest even than the protest itself. They are fully prepared for it, and security operatives are all out to different locations to ensure that the protest do not degenerate into something else, probably to a means of terrorizing the whole country. And if you look at most of those who have come out, especially from the north, they are not out because of the protest mainly. They are just out probably because some people are deliberately sponsoring them. Some people have told them that we have to destabilize the country. This is a means for us to perpetrate our acts. So that, and I have seen that, look, this is no longer an issue of probably the issue of hunger. We have seen that protesters in the south, most of them, they have come out to say that look, the hunger is the common word for everybody. Most people they raised different kind of placards to express their anger. Some have even made a lot of video. We have seen somebody who is stripping himself naked just to express his anger and annoyance. But over there in the north, it's not the same. Most of those protesters, they are all out. If you look at it in some places, they are out mainly to destabilize the states. And probably I don't know if there are some people behind all of this, probably they want to get power through another means. Probably because they have seen that, look, this is a way that we can, send out this government or whatever. So I do not understand their reason for all of this. But then, anyone who is behind it, they should equally be aware. If the people are, sincere with themselves, they should tell anybody who is telling them to go and destabilize the country that they should come and meet. If they are on ground with them, yes, they can continue to do anything, and anything that becomes the result, their children should also be there so that everybody will become the partaker. I am not ruling out the fact that there is serious hardship across Nigeria. There is serious hardship both in the north and in the south. But I can still tell you, that the problem we are facing in the south is more thorough than even the north. If you look at it, the south mostly will depend on our foods that are coming from the north. And now in the north, most of them
I see farmers.
they still farm, they still get most of these products directly, at even affordable prices. But here in the south, cost of transportation is already affecting the goods. So goods are more expensive here in the south. Yet the people are not vandalizing properties here. They are only protesting as a normal person who is protesting. But there in the north, you can see that they are all out to vandalize, to loot, to destroy things across every part of the north.
All right. Thank you so much as regard that, and we hope that because the protest is meant to last for 10 days, but this is the third day now. But the fourth day.
The Take It Back movement has come out to say that look, the protest may not end in 10 days. That unless their demands are met, that they are not going to stop their protest. And we have equally seen, the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Badagry, who have told his own his own group to back down from the protest. But his group has disagreed with him that look, we are not backing down from this protest. We are going to continue with this protest, and until we get results, we are not going to be tired. We are still going to be all out on the streets. And these are some of the
looking at from the beginning, before the protest and at the beginning of the protest, we've seen the government of Nigeria taking some decisive actions as regard, to convince the people that the government is, has the public at heart in terms of meeting the traditional rulers, meeting religious rulers, and every other stakeholders, the king and the stakeholders, to discuss with them that they should talk to the people to back down, and where at the same time some people are coming up to say dialogue is the best option. Before now, has the government even created any atmosphere or platform, or bring the people, create any room for people's to dialogue about their matters of concern? Because I think this is happening. It's the protest that is making this happen for the first time in the history of the country, because I have not seen the Nigerian president over time calling critical stakeholders to talk about matters of public concern.
Over the years, we have not seen any kind of serious engagement. In fact, for the very first time in recent time, where we will see Nigerian president calling on all traditional rulers to have a summit with them, to discuss with them, to talk to their people. This is coming at a time that they understand that there is tension in the country, and there is we shouldn't wait till now. There should be at local level. There should be a forum for discussion. There should be a forum for interaction, both between the people, their chairman, both between the people, their state governor. You don't have to be in any office before you interact with those you are voted for. There should be a kind of forum where you can easily interact with each other,
challenges,
and allay your problems to them, and it will be met. But over time, Nigeria always wait for problems before they look for cure, and that is why we are still here. So we are encouraging the federal government, the state government, all of them. They should use this as a point of correction, that they should constantly engage with Nigerians. They should constantly have conversation with Nigerians. Let us know what we have been doing. And in fairness to this administration, if you look at it, most of what they have rolled out in the last 2 weeks or in the last 1 week, I can tell you the former administration does not have such record. That is,
it took a precise action. Correcting.
Look at it. Only that the federal government has now said that directed the NNPCL to sell fuel or to sell oil to Dangote in naira. Do you know the implication of that? Definitely, one, we are going to reduce a lot of pressure from the dollar. Then the dollar is going to come down, and the price of fuel is going down, because Dangote will no longer have any reason to sell above, or to tell us that look, I'm buying with dollar and I have to sell in dollar at dollar rate. No, Dangote is buying in naira, and he's definitely going to sell to Nigerians in naira. So we should be expecting crash in prices of food. in prices of petrol, in prices of gas, in prices of diesel. Especially consider, look at the kind of infrastructure Dangote has put up. I do not see that, especially his lab. Look at that lab. We do not have any of those labs across Africa. So look at that kind of magnitude of investment in Nigeria, and some people are trying to kill it. So for me, this is now the right decision, and it is not longer about the words of mouth. The president should be precise. He should be active. He should do everything it takes. Whoever, any cabals that are involved in oil scam or whatever, or marketer or whoever they are, the president should be active in dealing with them. That look, Dangote refinery must function. Every other refinery in Nigeria must function. Nigerians will get a better life, and through this, Nigeria will have a very bright future ahead. So if you even look at student loan, according to report I read today, over 22,000 students have been paid. So these are some of the things that the former administration, we did not see any of such. They are only promising with words of mouth. But look at it, for that student loan alone, it's going to relieve parents from their burden. But at the same time, the government should be careful of not inflicting more problem by because they have given out student loan means that they have to increase school fees. They need to be guided.
How about those that could not access the loan?
Of course, those who are currently unable to access the loan, they just need to continue to. We need to continue to engage those who are in charge or mail phone that look, we need to disburse this loan. We need to make it more accessible, even in terms of criteria. It should be more accessible to students, and for them to be able to get the loan without any kind of. You have their records. You have their records. They are students. They will not take
from
away
JAM, from WAEC.
Yes, even with the certificate they want to earn in that institution, you have all of this record. You can as well, Nigeria can as well give them job at the point of graduation for them to be able to start paying back from 2 years, because you will not expect somebody who is jobless to start paying you. Who does that? So for me, I think that NELFON should do their own part, while the federal government is equally doing their own part. So they have done some things within the last few weeks. That is commendable. Yes, that will really affect the life of Nigerians positively.
Yeah.
But where are all of this over the years?
Yeah.
Why have they not been doing that for months? Why do they have to wait until protest is 1 week to go? So these are the issues. It means that they know what they should do, but they are not doing it. Yeah. And probably because some people are misinforming the president. Probably because the president is not, aware of all of these problems at the appropriate time. So probably because the president have equally seen that, look, the people are now saying this. Does it mean that this has not been happening? So these are some of the issues.
You see, that was one of the reasons why the president's wife had to go to some states in the north to disburse rice.
If Nigerians are sincere, why should it be that the president's wife will take the responsibility herself to go and share those rice? It means that there are a lot of criminal elements in Nigeria. There are a lot of criminal elements working with the government. Because why should I do not see it? I see it as a reckless
even DSS,
selfishness.
Even DSS has intercepted some bags of rice which is meant for the public showers.
Why are people deliberately wicked? Yeah. Why are people naturally selfish? Things that are made for public consumption. Why do one person want to take the sole responsibility for it? Why do one person want to take gains of it? These are some of the people are dying every day.
Yeah.
You do not determine when you are going to die. You die as a natural issue.
Yeah.
Now you will not take any of these things anywhere. Look at recently we saw Senator Ifeanyi Uba, who went to the UK and celebrated with his children, and about 2 or 3 days later he died. This is a man that did not show any symptoms of sickness when he was celebrating with his children. So all of this money that they steal, all of this money that they loot, they are not going to take it anywhere. They are going to end up in grave 6 feet. So if they have this consciousness in mind, what is meant for the people should go to the people. You are already okay. Your greed has been satisfied to some extent. Then allow others to breathe. Selfishness is what is killing Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your take as regard that. Now we'll be moving to Africa as a whole. Over time, recently in Africa, in countries in Africa, both West Africa, Central and the likes. There's a rise in protests around the countries. Even recently in Ghana, we've seen the one that happened in Kenya. But all these protests are coming up as a result of bad leadership, and this is spreading across Africa. What do you think this is sending? What message do you think this is sending to African leaders?
You see, the issue is that we have so many selfish people who are in power. So many selfish people who want to maintain power at all costs. And all they do is just to expand tax system without the, dividends of those taxation to show for their people. And that is why you have seen rising protests across Africa. You have seen it in Kenya, you have seen it in Nigeria, we have seen it in Ghana, and we do not know where next that the protests will continue. So it's just a way of telling African leaders that they need to come up and use their initiative. They need to start telling themselves, look, Africans, the people are not saying you can loot 30%. If all our politicians are looting 30% to start with, if they are looting 30% of our resources and using 70% to develop Nigeria, we will no longer be at this point.
And there will not be need for protest.
There will not be need to protest because we will have had a better place to stay. Look at Gaddafi. It's not because Gaddafi is not corrupt, but while he was the president, he was busy developing his state. He ensured that at least if you as a young man is getting married and you are getting something from the state, will you have any reason to go and protest
at all?
So if you as a young man, after you got
you won't even have any reason to say you are experiencing a bad government.
Exactly. So now if you are getting unemployment benefit as a Nigerian, will you have any reason to join the streets
at all?
So these are all some of the problems we have been having across Africa. If you look at it as a graduate, we have thousands of graduates on the streets who are unemployed, and you should know, if their knowledge is not useful to the government, it will be useful to the streets.
Yeah, of course.
They will definitely incite the people.
You can see what is even happening about the protests is that the protest happening starts on weekdays where you are supposed to go to work, start your meanwhile, but since the youth does not have anything to do, they will just have to resume on the streets too.
That is why you have even seen protesters like Take It Back in Nigeria who are saying that, look, we are going to remain on the streets until our demands are met. Are you telling me that if most of all of these protesters
has a
job and they consider their job security, will they be on the streets? And
indefinitely.
I saw a pathetic video yesterday where a woman who was hawking soft drink, and she said she is suffering, that she has a kid. This woman is she's fluent with her spoken English, and I look at her, I understand that this woman is not an illiterate. And in fact, in her analysis, she said that she is an NCE holder. She was a teacher even at the school of the former vice president Osibajo. She said she was a teacher at that school, and because of some forgotten that an issue happened and they were sacked, and ever since then she has not gotten any other job. And for her to survive, she had to take to the streets. You can imagine a teacher, a qualified person. This is just one among thousands or millions that are on the streets. We have a lot of masters holders who are on the street who are jobless. They have no alternative.
This is part of the issue that is being raised in Kenya. That unemployment is too high. There's a lot of graduates in Kenya without job.
You see, look at Africa. Government can create jobs. Government can industrialize Africa if they are ready. We can create all of this. Look at Nigeria. You see farmers. It takes several days for you to peel your cassava, for you to process it, for you to fry it, for you to extract the starch, and for you to do all of these things. It takes you several days. But we have machines that can do all of this job and create more food.
Yeah. More employment.
And it makes the job
more profit.
Exactly, more profit. And the job of about 10 days becomes 2 days on 1 day. And at the end, you make more profits, you pay workers, you are generating employment. So this is just a basic level of analysis to tell you that if truly Nigerian government want to industrialize Nigeria, look at what Dangote has done. Dangote in Nigeria has, it's a way of industrialization.
Yeah, if his refinery is operational fully, the
Nigeria industrialization has peaked from there.
Yeah.
Then we should start looking at other places to industrialize Nigeria more. Nigeria needs to become industrialized rather than thinking of making Nigeria recruiting youths, 50 million youths into the army. What's the significance? That you want to protect your border without food. You want to protect your state without any economic importance.
Meanwhile, Nigeria is not really at a serious war.
We are not at war. So why should we don't even have any threat? There is no threat to Nigeria except internal problems. And I can tell you, if all of these problems are addressed,
the internal insecurity will be reduced.
Yes, there won't be internal issue. So that is the same thing across Africa. African leaders are so selfish that most of them, they look away from the major problems of their people and rather do things that cause for serious concern. They loot their people's money, and the annoying part is that even if they are looting all of this money and reinvesting it in their own economy, it would have been better. But they rather take it to Dubai, they take it to the UK, to the US, to different kind of foreign lands, and those money are used by foreign government to develop their own country. So
some they cannot even recover it anymore.
Exactly. So
it becomes government's fund.
So about few years ago, I saw a list of unclaimed houses in the UK where names were released that grandchildren should come and trace those properties. That these are properties that the owners are dead and it has remained unclaimed for so many years. Most of all of these properties belong to Africans. So you see, these are some of the problems we have been talking about.
Well, some of their family may not even be aware.
They are not aware. So I don't know why Africans have this generational problem of trying to secure the future you did not see. You are looking for your unborn generation.
I may never even see the need for
that. The bungalow, the bungalow you are building now, the off-story building you are building now, they may come and tell you this is out of fashion. They want to destroy it. That they want to build the latest. Look at Elon Musk. He has a hotel in Mars.
Yeah.
It's just to tell you about innovations and technological advancements. That if somebody have an hotel in Mars, that you are now looting and building things here on this planet Earth. So it's just a way of telling people that look, the future of your children, it will be secure if you are fixing the right thing in places, if you are making an enabling environment for public benefit. So you do not have to be worried about the future of your own children too. It is already secured. But because they refuse to do the right thing, that is why we continue to have problems.
All right, thank you so much about that. And lastly, for today's show, we will be moving to international issues. For a few days back now, we've seen Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He visited US, and he had to address US government officials and the presidential candidate has also come out to say she has not really outrightly say that she's not in support of the crisis going in the Middle East, but she has always said that the negotiation should commence as to maintain peace in the region. But at the same time, we've seen we saw an attack that was carried out on Israel. In return, Israel had, coincidentally or intentionally, an Iranian, the leader of Hamas leader, which has been proscribed to be one of the terrorist groups, has been killed. These are situations that happen over the days. What can you say in terms of US support for Israel and the continuous war in the Middle East? With what is going on? Is there any green light for this war? Is there any peace coming anytime soon?
You see, some of the problems that has happened in recent weeks in the Middle East, after Benjamin Netanyahu visited the US, it had a mixed reaction. We have seen those who protested against his visit. And we have seen those who shared him up in the Congress, and he was given the floor to address the congressmen, while some congressmen, stayed in the workouts. Some remain and shared him up, and were even clapping for him because he tried to highlight the problem of US as the problem of Israel by trying to bring up the issue of Iran.
Terrorist
Iran
organizations,
is their common enemy, and terrorist Hamas, according to them, is equally another problem that they have. But you see, after he left, he left after he got the information that there was an attack in Israel, and about 12 people were killed in on a field. So it led to his return, and immediately Israel made a statement that look, Hamas were responsible
for the attack.
No, Hezbollah.
Okay, yeah, from Lebanon.
Yes, were responsible for that attack. So after that, Hezbollah denied the claim, and Israel maintained that their intelligence is very, very accurate, that they have a very strong intelligence that Hezbollah was responsible, and they are going to respond appropriately. So, and having considered the fact that they said they have crossed the red line, that they are going to respond massively. The following day, there was an attack in Lebanon, where they attacked different cities in Lebanon. And after those attacks, Israeli military spokesperson has come out to say that this is just a normal routine attack, that it is not a major operation that Israel is going to carry out. And if you look at it from that perspective, after a few days, we see that despite the fact that there have been ongoing discussion about having a truce between Israel and Hamas to bring the war to an end, some of the negotiators, especially Hamas leader, got killed in Iran, and it brings a problem. This Hamas leader went to Iran. He has his home in Iran, and he visited the celebration of the newly installed president of Iran. It was after that celebration that he got killed in his hotel in Iran. So if you look at all of these problems, it is definitely going to fuel more problems, because this is one person who happens to be the negotiator between Israel and Hamas. Now he got killed in the process. And if you look at Israel, Israel has a style, because if you remember October 7 attack, Hamas leader was seen on video celebrating the attack openly, and he was even celebrating by saying hitting his head on the wall and trying to praise Allah for the successful attack on Israeli people. So I think this action from him, especially that he did not condemn and has come out live on public view to do that, he should have been restricting his own movement.
Yeah, he should be much more careful.
He should be careful. He should be conscious that look, Israeli will definitely come after him at some point. So, and that is, he has paid with his life now, because I know it is well coordinated. Some critics have even come out to say that Israel can no longer be trusted, that Hamas, they have come out to say that Iran can no longer be trusted, that Iran deliberately gave out the information about
the location of
the
Hamas
leader who got killed. But Iran has come out to say that look, this act is an act of terror against Iran, that Israel carried out an
assassination on the soil,
assassinated Hamas leader on this Iranian soil. That is no longer an issue of Iran to Israel, that they are going to, it's no longer an issue of Hamas to Israel, but it's an issue of Iran to Israel, that they are going to respond appropriately with a lot of rockets, that they are going to fire a lot of rockets into Israel for retaliation for killing their Hamas leader, who is their guest at an auspicious occasion where they were celebrating their president, their newly installed president. So for me, I think there is going to be more escalation.
Even couple with the fact that the couple with part of the situation that surround the death of the former president of Iran.
Of course, the issue has not been clear. So some have speculated that it was Israel, and some are
Saying it is the weather.
It is the weather. So if you look at it from that angle, you discover the fact that there is a problem, and this problem will definitely degenerate more. Especially Iran is now coming, and it can degenerate into a regional, full-blown regional war. Now it's going to involve, Israel against Iran. It's going to involve Israel against Lebanon. It's going to involve, it might likely even spread to Jordan.
Even Syria. Yemen is trying to be part of it.
Yes, Yemen has, the Houthis in Yemen has, claimed responsibility for some attacks
on Israel.
So you look at it from this angle, there is going to be more. The crisis is going to become more regional than ever.
And Egypt has always been conscious and
Egypt understands the consequence. If you remember, I think around 1967 or thereabouts, you remember what happened where Israel, under 6 days war, where Israel's military air force strike demoralized Egypt. Within few days, their air force have been able to demoralize every other regional
powers or regional forces
wanted to engage them in confrontation. So Egypt is very careful about her own security and does not want to unnecessarily go into confrontation with Israel, considering the fact that Israel
over time Israel has been
Israel has always been making it clear that it is ready to engage any confrontation. Even recently, when Turkish President Erdogan was threatening that he's definitely going to throw his support behind the Palestinians, that they have to come out, make it open and confront Israel. Israel has made a statement by saying that, look, they are not going to give any kind of restraining order to him, that if he comes for Israel, they are going to confront him back according to how he brings it to them. So Israel is a kind of person that, despite the fact that one of the only friends that they have in that region happens to be Turkey, and most often they equally go on, different disagreement with Turkey over time. So Israel do not care. They have a realistic foreign policy that is all about Israel alone. They do not care about who their neighbor is. They are all out to defend themselves regardless of any of the problems. And while we equally were discussing the presidential candidate of the US, Kamala Harris, why people met him and asked him that, look, what's your plan? You are now saying that you condemn Israeli actions in the Middle East, especially against Palestinians. That what are you going to do? Are you it is far from condemnation. Are you going to tell us that you stop funding Israel if you become the president? But she has no response to that regard, and people are saying that, look, if she cannot say categorically that they should have it on record that she is going to stop the funding of Israeli military, definitely there is no change in approach. That over years they have been having presidents who will condemn actions rather than stop the acts that led to that action by stopping arms to Israel.
Some other aids.
There are continuous provocation by supporting Israel through military aids.
It's encouraging
actions of provocation in itself. So for those who are asking the president, they should not expect anything different. There is no US president that will come to office. Israeli have a very powerful lobby, and there is no US president that will come to office that will have a foreign policy that will be anti-Israel. So you should never expect that.
Either Democrat or Republican.
They are all on the same page.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us. This is still Point Blank Talk Show on News Peddlers. We come right from you every Sunday at 4 p.m. where we discuss matters of public concern relating to Badagry, Nigeria, and the world at large. Follow us, like our channels, and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Thank you for being with us. Have a nice week ahead.